Most people have no idea that this building on North 8th Street in Tacoma houses an organization that is making a huge impact on the other side of the world. This is where you'll find the international headquarters for the nonprofit organization Orphans Africa. It was started by Michelle Torrey, her husband Carl Gand, and friend Lisa de Guzman. In 2007, Michelle was in Africa to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, and she witnessed firsthand the poverty that engulfs the country of Tanzania. What she saw had a profound effect on her. She did some volunteer work in that country, and then decided she could do even more by starting Orphans Africa, which works in conjunction with a small organization in Tanzania.
Our mission is to educate orphans and empower widows. It's just that simple. What we hope to accomplish with that is to help even the smallest proportion of orphans and widows to become productive members of their society. Right now in Tanzania there are 3 million orphans, and we're talking in a population of only 43 million people. So there's this huge population of orphans in a country that's already devastatingly poor. What we can do is only just a small drop in this ocean, but what we're able to do is educate about 500 orphans and give them the tools that they need to be successful adults.
Orphans Africa is currently working on building and/or rebuilding 3 schools in different areas in Tanzania, and this is done by working with the local communities who donate the land. Orphans Africa helps with construction, which includes not only building classrooms, but also dormitories for the children to live in, as well as kitchen and bathroom facilities, and they also help out with the infrastructure and technical expertise.
What we are doing as our model is to develop self-sustaining schools, and the schools are integrated, and those two are very important features for Orphans Africa. The self-sustaining model means that we have students who have parents who pay, and that money runs the school. That enables the orphans to come for free. We believe in this model because at some point when we have completed the construction and the infrastructure, we don't have to pay for any daily operations of the schools. And right now we have 2 schools that are doing that out of 3 that we are constructing.
Orphans Africa is a 100% volunteer organization. There are no paid staff, and all donations go directly for the ventures in Tanzania. When volunteers travel to Africa to help in the country and also to check on the projects, each person pays their own way. On this day, a group of volunteers gathered to assemble mailings that will be going out to update the public on the organization and to solicit donations. The local involvement with the Tanzanian communities is one of the big reasons this organization is so successful. Orphans Africa is there only to help, not to dictate how the schools will be run.
Orphans Africa doesn't own any of the schools there, and we don't really manage them in the day-to-day management sense. So they have their own management. They have their own headmaster, their own teachers. They have their own school board composed of local community members. And then we have a management team there that let's say if we need to build a kitchen dining hall and we collect the funds here, we would then send the funds a little at a time to the management team there that would then start the building. And they would report back to us, this is how it's going, this is how we've spent your money, here are the receipts and here are the photos. And then we send more, and it keeps going like that. And we do go and visit the sites, see it with our own eyes, and make sure that everything's on schedule and being done appropriately.
There are usually a few obstacles that have to be overcome in any project, but Orphans Africa found out early on that the challenges they face are pretty unique.
First of all, it's on the other side of the planet, so it's very distant. Secondly, when you get to the other side of the planet, and there's a 17-hour car drive to get there on very bumpy roads, the logistics are tough. 2 of our project sites have no electricity, so you can't just email somebody or call them up anytime. Communication is difficult. They speak a different language, Swahili, but also in the remote villages, primarily the people speak a tribal language such as Nakusa. So there are all of those communication and transportation difficulties. Then there are huge cultural differences, as you can imagine, from a rural African tribe versus someone from Tacoma, Washington.
Since the program originated in 2007, Orphans Africa has been responsible for providing more than $400,000 worth of goods, clothing, supplies, educational equipment, and building materials to Tanzanian communities, all to help out orphans and widows. It's a big job, and sometimes it might seem like the organization is fighting a problem that will never go away. But those involved with Orphans Africa know that this charitable organization is working.
What we believe is that if we educate these students from the ground up in their communities, that will grow and be passed on to their children and other people in the community. It's going to help people dig their way out of poverty. And our belief at Orphans Africa is you don't buy people out of poverty. You educate them. They'll do it themselves.
I look at the photos, I go there, I see the children and the health that they now have, the hope in their eyes, and I compare it with how it used to be, and I compare it with the new orphans that arrive on campus, and I realize, oh my gosh, what a difference, and it's the best work I could do.